Hello everyone, I have a new item in today from Nurzviy. If you recall, I did a video on them about a month ago about their EVSE, and this is a new improved version of the one I received. So here is the box, shows a picture on one side. There's the options. This one is the 40 amp NEMA 1450 version. Comes in three colors, black, orange, and white. I received the black version, and that's about it on the outside of the box. So let's open it up and see what we have inside. We have white styrofoam protective pads. We have the EVSE. We have a little box here. Let's see, this is a wall mount for the J1772 handle that you can plug in here and wrap the cable around. So I will put that back in here. We also have a bag with some screws and drywall anchors. Let's take this out and see what's inside. We have the user manual. We have the packing list of items. We have a product overview. We have key features, safety instructions, troubleshooting. We have a fault indicator light prompt, maintenance and care, installation and charging, installation steps, pretty detailed instructions here, usage steps, app usage instructions, app charging, app schedule, app current adjustment instructions, and app alarm settings. Plug and play charging mode adjustment. So, very involved user manual. I recommend reading this from cover to cover before you start using. Let's see what we have here. Let me take off this rubber band. So the J1772 handle is in a bubble wrap protective bag. We have the handle itself. We have a rubber protective cap on the end so you can keep dust and water and debris out of the contact area. Handle seems pretty solid. And the cable itself is wrapped in a plastic bag, so I will remove that. In this looks like a wall bracket, so I'll open that up and show how that works when I get to the installation process part of the video. And this comes out. And here we go. So here's the main unit. And we have the cable. We have a pigtail with a NEMA 1450 plug on the end. So let me remove all this stuff so we'll get a closer look. In this bag, we have two RFID cards that are used to access the EVSE to turn it on and off. This is handy if you are in a public location, for example, having your EVSE outside and you only wish certain people to have access to it. You can use these cards to turn it on or off. Very handy. Here's a close-up of the bracket that was wrapped in the styrofoam. Here is the main box of the EVSE itself. Has a protective plastic on it. Very nice and shiny. There's a area for the RFID card. There's power, OCPP, Wi-Fi, and charging. And then there's an LCD display on the top. On the side, there's an emergency button for turn off. We also have 2 screws on the back. There is a metal heat dissipation pad on the back, like a heat sink. If we put the bracket on, would probably go on like this and then locks into place. So this part will be attached to the wall. And I have a slat wall system, which is slightly different than drywall. So I will install that and show you how it works. Let's have a closer look at the cable. It has UL, nine gauge by 3, and then 18 gauge. So the 9 will be the main power leads, 18 will be the communication line. 105C, 600 volts. And that's about it that I see. Let's have a look at the diameter of the cable. And I have 0.74 inches or 18.8 millimeters. As far as the cable length is, the pigtail is 16 inches long, and the main charging cord is 22 feet 3 inches. And here I have the wall mount, and it's attached to the slat wall. If you had a drywall or studs, you would either screw them in to the drywall or the studs using the include screws with the kit. As for mounting the EVSE box, you just need to line up the 2 screws that are on here with the 2 openings on the mount. And that's it, it's installed. All right, with the base on the wall, we can now attach the pigtail. We need to remove the plastic cover and then insert the plug into the outlet. So basically, you want to position this so that the outlet plug is close enough so that this is not stretched too far. Then I can take the charge cord and I can hang it up. I can either use a hook that I already have, or you could use the organizer that is included with the kit. This can be attached to the wall, and then you can wrap the cord around this. For example, it would plug into here and would look like this if you had it mounted on the wall. But since I already have a hook here, I'm just going to use that, and that is fine for me. Can remove the protective plastic now. For a little extra security, there is an included wrench and security screw in the pack of items that came with the EVSE. What you would do is, on the bottom of the bracket, there's a hole right here, and that's where you would insert the screw into, and then use the screwdriver to tighten it in place. Just a little bit extra security so that this EVSE cannot be removed from its position. I'll now turn on the power to the unit. On the screen we have a welcome. Please plug in to charge. It gives a IP address along with a serial number. We also get a version number up top. And the temperature, 68 degrees Fahrenheit. We have the button showing power. And then we have the blinking light for the RFID card. If I take the RFID card and place it on here, it shows me card information. So, we have the EVSE on. We will open the charge port and insert the plug. And notice it has flashing green. That means it is ready to charge, but it needs to be okayed. Note that you need to use the NFC card or the app to start charging. So you can go and use this to start charging right now. And now you can see all the information on the screen. We get some nice information up here. The EVSE is 86 degrees Fahrenheit. And just so you know, it's roughly 70 degrees Fahrenheit in the garage. We have 245 volts, 29.42 amps, and that gives us 7.22 kilowatts. Go to the car, and when it's charging, you'll see the green LED light here. And if you want to stop, just use the NFC card right here. And notice it says charging completed. Please plug out. Gives the information of how many kilowatt hours were used. Since it was only on for a minute or two, it was 0.09. Then go to the car, press the button, and pull out the J1772, and you are done. So normally to use the EVSE, you have to use the NFC card to turn it on and off. If you just want to do plug and play, you need to do an adjustment inside the EVSE. First thing I need to do is turn it off. And then there is a plastic wedge tool that comes with the kit. There's an opening down below, and what you do is you insert the wedge in here, and then you press on it, and then go all the way around the edge, and the cover will pop off. Then, using a Phillips head screwdriver like this, unscrew all of these screws that hold this panel in place. All right, once all the screws are removed, this can come off. And then there's a dip switch under here that we'll need to switch. So let me get a closer look at that. All right. So if you look right here, you'll see a number of different dip switches right here. And what you need to do is the one at the very end, you need to flip this forward. and then that turns off the NFC card. Place the cover back on and insert all the screws. All right, so all the screws are back in place. We put the cover back on. Turn the power back on. All right, so let's test it. Now that I've adjusted the dip switch inside, that it will not use the NFC card, it will be set to plug and play. So let's test that out. Going to the car. Take the cover off. Open the charge port. And insert. And let's watch the light. It goes from blinking green to solid green. The car shows that it is at roughly 6 kilowatts. And the screen here gives us more information. So it is charging. If you want to stop the charging process, you can either use the app or hit stop charging in the car. You'll hear a lock release, and the J1772 handle can be pulled out. And when we go over here, it's back into the ready mode. So you have a lot of flexibility. You can use the NFC if you want to have security in charging, if you don't want unauthorized access to your charging station, or you can have it set to plug in charge whenever it's done that way. Another thing I wanted to add is to do scheduling, you need to have it in this plug-in charge mode. I could not find a way to get it to schedule with the NFC enabled. Now we're ready to add the Nurzviy EVSE to the system. We download the app called Smart Life from the App Store, start the app, configure it, and then press the plus button on the top right and then add device. It'll go through and discover devices, and it already found the EVSE. So I need to press add. I'll type in my password here. Press next. And device is being added. It's showing the progress in the little icon over here. And then it says it is added successfully. We press done at the bottom. Give it a few seconds. And now we have information on charging here. We have swipe right to charge. Charging mode, you can do real-time charge or fixed-time charge. Has phase A. I guess that'll populate over time. We have, let's press the load button. Interesting, gives a nice little graphic here. Load limit, charger limit. We can put a load limit of 32 amps because that's what I'm going to be using for my Fisker Ocean. Let's see what else we have here. We have record, which will have a listing of all the charging records that it will store on here. Also some more information on charging. I guess you can do it by date. Go into setting, you can change different things. You can have an alarm setting, power, CP state, version number, charge ID, server ID. So not a whole lot to change on there. If we press the home button, just goes back to the beginning. So if we go to the Smart Life app and then click on Scene, so I have the setting set for 11:45 to turn on the charging. This schedule can be updated. You can pick however you like it to be. You can pick the time. You can pick the day of the week, multiple days or a single day. Just make sure this is set to on for the scheduling. And now that it is 11:45, note that it started charging. You can also set schedules for how long you want it to charge. You can actually make another one of these presets and have it turn off at a certain time. So it's up to you how you want to set this up. Some people like to do time of use charging with their electric provider and want to charge, say, at midnight to 4 in the morning. That's a good example of setting schedules. So that about wraps up scheduling. There's a lot of different ways of doing it. You can set schedules on the app using the scenes. You can also set charging schedules on the EVSE itself by going into charge mode and then going fixed time. Then you can actually say, I want it to charge at 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. and it will do that. So there's a lot of flexibility in how you can do it. You can use 2 different ways of setting schedules. It's up to you. And if you just want to do it on demand, you just plug it in and just turn off those schedules. And for those EV owners that have multiple vehicles like I do, I can also charge my Tesla Model 3 on this EVSE 2. I need to use a Tesla to J1772 adapter. You just insert that, it locks into place. Then I just need to take a little bit of the cord, open the charge port, insert. Since I have the Nurzviy EVSE set to plug and play, it is instantly charging when I plug it into the Tesla. As you can see, I have 243 volts, I'm at 40 amps, 9.79 kilowatts. And since this NEMA 1450 outlet has a max of 40 amps, that's what it's providing to the car. Here's what it looks like attached. And let's go look inside. And on the charge screen, it's showing 40 amps at this location. And let's look at the detail. Yes, it rounds it up to 10 kilowatts, 40 amps, 238 volts. And it is charging away. So yes, this EVSE provides charging for J1772 EVs as well as Tesla vehicles. So if you have multiple EVs like I do, it is very handy to charge. And since the NEMA 1450 is one of the most common connections that people use in households, in a garage, that is most likely what people are using to charge. Some people opt for hardwired connections, but these NEMA 1450 or 1430 outlets are probably more commonly available. And since I do a lot of testing of these EVSEs, I like using the NEMA 1450 outlet since I can unplug and put in a new EVSE in seconds. So this basically wraps up the video today on unboxing and testing of the Nurzviy updated 40 amp EVSE that has a NEMA 1450 plug If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. If you're interested in purchasing this item, I have the link in the video description. Don't forget to use code RANGER for a discount. And thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.